I didn't talk for 3 years. It all started back in elementary school. I was really social around my cousins, but for some reason, in school, I would never talk. I don't know if I talked about this before, but English is actually my second language. My first language is Thai, but since I was born in the States, I became fluent in both languages. I don't know why, but my fetus brain thought that if I spoke in class, people would make fun of me for my mixed up accent due to me thinking in both languages at the same time. And so, I just kept quiet for 3 years. This did lead to some bullying because it made me seem like an easy target since I never spoke and would be less likely to tell on them. But it wasn't too bad now that I look back at it. We were kids after all, and I'm sure they already matured by now. There were kids that wanted to be my friend out of pity, but I could see in their eyes that they got annoyed after a while of me just nodding and shaking my head as they talked. This got so bad to the point where my teachers had to call my parents to school and be like, hey, so if your child doesn't talk by the end of this year, we might have to send her to a different school for mute students. You guys should do something about that. After hearing this, my parents were furious. My teacher basically compared me having social anxiety to being a mute, which are literally two different things. After that day, my dad made it his goal to try and get me to speak. Every morning when dropping me off in school, he would remind me, remember what we promised? And I would smile, nod, and walk into the building. So, did you speak today? It's okay. Keep walking.
Palmy, why didn't you just speak? Everything would be solved if you just spoke.
I know, but if it was really that easy, I wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. My social anxiety was so bad at the time that whenever I opened my mouth to mutter something, I would feel this weird pain in my stomach, similar to when you go on stage for the first time and everyone is watching you. This cycle of my dad dropping me off and then watching me leave the building soullessly repeated for months until my 3rd year. We got a new teacher who we'll call Miss Peach. As Miss Peach started learning more about the students in our class, she noticed my problem and started making small gestures like giving me candy, having the class play games that didn't require speaking, and many more to earn my trust. One time during recess, I remember she saw me eating snacks alone as the other kids went playing tag, and she sat down right next to me. Usually with my previous teachers, I would get nervous whenever they come near me, but for some reason, I couldn't sense any ill intention from Miss Peach. She very much radiated the energy of the sun, literally such a goddess. Miss Peach started talking to me about the things that made her unhappy with her life, like how her boyfriend cheated on her and how she's not getting paid enough from the school. But in the end, she's still doing her dream job, which was helping other children to grow up to be good adults. As a child, I did not process any of the things she said about being cheated on or her financial situation, but what I did understand was that she genuinely loved her job, and she was the first person in the school that knew what I was going through. A few days passed, and I started feeling safe in my classroom, and even made some friends that had similar interests. Miss Peach said that if I want to learn to talk and not draw too much attention, I can start by whispering to people in the class and then slowly build up to talking. And so, whenever I saw this girl in my class drawing Vocaloid characters in her sketchbook, I would start whispering to her, like, I like Vocaloid too. Is it okay if we be friends? Okay, actually, now that I think about it, I'm surprised that she didn't get creeped out from this random girl whispering to her. But hey, it worked out. You know, I knew what I was doing. But yeah, she eventually started talking to me every day, and we would show each other the new scuff drawings we did of shows that were popular at the time. Having one friend who I could trust felt like the world to me, and I eventually built up the courage to whisper to other kids in my class. Totally not because I saw them playing Pokemon cards though. As the year went on, I became more and more open, and I would even be the first to start conversations. And by the end of the year, I was considered a normal student who was no longer on the brink of being kicked out. I told my parents about everything that happened and how it was all thanks to one teacher, and they were so grateful that they made a whole bowl of Thai food for her as thanks. But yeah, that's basically the story of how I didn't talk for 3 years. I'm proud to say that I'm now a professional conversationist. That's totally not a word I just made up. Anyways, this is my first time doing these type of videos where I share about a part of my life. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it could help anyone out there that's currently in a similar situation. If you're someone who's also struggling with social anxiety right now, which me too, homie, but trust me, no one will make fun of you, and either way, you probably won't even remember each other's faces once you graduate. Learning to get over my fear of talking was the best choice I've made, and I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't made that decision. Literally, I would have been kicked out of my school before even reaching this point. Thank you if you watched all the way to the end. I love you all, bye.